I met Doji in 2010 when I was working on the United Nations Joint Project on Adolescent Girls in Chikwawa District, southern part of Malawi. She is 15 years old and a victim of harmful traditional practices, a culture she doesn't understand. Her elder sister is the second wife to a polygamous rich man in their village. Since the husband has been taking good care of her sister, Doji's family agreed to give Doji as a bonus wife. This practice is culturally called ntena. At the age of 13, she was married to her sister's husband. She had to drop out of school. She could no longer play with her friends. Worse still, she had to live with a man she loves not, a man who is not her choice. Doji now has a child, but being in a polygamous marriage is not easy for her. Her relationship with her sister is not good. She insults her, and her parents have made it clear that if she leaves the marriage, she will be a disgrace to the family and their culture. I sometimes wish I could run away, but I stay for the baby, she confided in me. As an advocate, a counselor, and a young woman in Malawi, Doji's story touched me. As it is lightly argued, people without a culture are like a tree without roots. But I think some elements of culture can be obstacles to development. So the question is, do we really have to continue with such harmful traditional practices? Doji is not the only girl who is a victim of culture. What is the future of our girls? Research shows that at least 50% of girls in Malawi are married before the age of 18, and that over 35% of all pregnancies being reported are teenage pregnancies. As an advocate, Doji's story motivates me to act and push for policy change with local leaders to do away with harmful traditional practices. Let us join hands to protect Malawian girls. Our girls, our future.
I am a father of 16 girls, of whom 14 are in the adolescent age group. And seeing them going to school, flourishing in the home, and enjoying the benefits of such a family, I had believed all was well with all adolescent girls in Malawi. But I then realized that this was not the case with most other adolescent girls living in the Malawi communities. One day, I was requested to facilitate sexual reproductive health training for youth, where one of the participants was a 14-year-old disabled girl who was breastfeeding a 6-month-old baby. During tea break, I asked her what had happened, and she narrated a story of having been sexually abused by her father. Upon hearing this, I felt so sick to realize that the girl was not only 14 years old and disabled, but also a mother to her father's baby. After the training, I followed up the issue with her mother and grandmother, who confirmed the story, but blamed the girl for allowing her father having sex with her. The mother, in agreement with the grandmother, cautioned me not to report the story to police, as this man is a breadwinner to the family, and they feared food insecurity if he was imprisoned. As the two were expressing these sentiments, I was disturbed to realize that here, this 14-year-old disabled girl was not only breastfeeding her father's baby, but also living in an environment where she had to remain silent about the sexual abuse and endure a culture where women are blamed for the sexual wrongdoings of men. As I drove back home with anger, I started thinking about my daughter Violet and her sisters and appreciated the importance of protecting adolescent girls in their growth, development, while being shocked with the story of the girl. This incident has strengthened my advocacy work for the well-being and livelihood of adolescent girls in Malawi. The loud and deafening community silence that exists in the Malawian society on issues of adolescent girls' sexual abuse must be overcome. So on behalf of my daughters and adolescent girls all over Malawi, I'll continue fighting and advocating for change at all costs.
I first met Mai during my field visit in one of the villages in southern Malawi. At the time, she was 14 years old. When I met her, she told me how she had found a friend in me, someone she could confide in. I gave her my ear. She told me how she lost her father when she was 8 years old. At the age of 10, her mother remarried. Life was hard. From the word go, she was raped by her stepfather whenever her mother was away. For 3 years, she suffered in silence. Her stepfather told her if she dares reveal this, she will die. At the age of 13, her mother left to cultivate from another village. As she was telling me this, I could hear from her tone how tired she was of being raped by her father. This time, she said she was prepared. She slept with a pair of scissors under her pillow and waited. Her father finally came into her room. She cut off his manhood with a pair of scissors. She is not alone. In Malawi, girls like her are many. And yet, there's literally nothing being done to criminalize offenders, and in most cases, it remains hidden. Even in my family, 2 years ago, I was told about my own father. He has a child with my sister. You can imagine, my nephew was now my brother. I grew up thinking all was in order, and my mother never said a thing. Just as Mai's mother never said a thing. As an advocate, working with the disadvantaged girls in Malawi, I realized that this case was just a tip of the iceberg. How many girls are abused in homes like Mai? How many fathers have gotten their daughters pregnant? How many mothers never said a thing? Now, it is a time to speak out. Let us join hands to protect the rights of adolescent girls in Malawi.
I met Jennifer at TA Masache in Chikwawa on one of the program monitoring visits. Her looks masked the challenges that she has faced so early in life. She is just 16. Like many girls in the area, she is out of school, a mother, and with no means of livelihood. Her story drew tears from my eyes. She told me that upon reaching puberty at 14, her parents became worried that she may become pregnant. This, it is believed in the area, brings calamity on the family. To avoid it, she was told to get married. She ran away from her parents and sought refuge with one family in the area. Attempts to reconcile the two were all in vain. Jennifer was an outcast and could not attend school. With no support from the community, she engaged in sexual relationships for support. This resulted in pregnancy at the age of 15. The world had come to an end for her. She was resigned to a life of poverty and could not see any future for her child. When I heard this story, I realized that with poor parenting skills, whatever her parents feared happened. Unfortunately, this is a sad story facing many girls in Chikwawa, Nsanje, and Mangochi. The sight of many girls with babies strapped on their backs in traditional authority massage was shocking. The remoteness of the area condemns the girls to limited opportunities. Schools are not only at distances, their quality also leaves much to be desired, making them unattractive to the girls. But this is hardly their fault. The face of Jennifer is a painful reminder of our failure as a society to ensure the realization of rights to the adolescent girls in rural Malawi. I felt the bitterness in me. The experience has renewed my commitment to supporting the establishment of a child protection system consisting of legal frameworks, coordination mechanisms, enhanced capacities of duty bearers, and care processes to end the violence, abuse, exploitation, and neglect of children in Malawi.